and symmetrical and will be tinted. The vestibule itself will include a security window where we have, I think, a plexiglass frame now where somebody took a jigsaw and cut a hole in it and you try to speak into it. That will be replaced by a security window with a microphone. The next slide, if we could, Mark. This is, as if I'm looking down, the vestibule itself. And the important thing here that I'd like to mention is that the vestibule floor will be a recessed pedimat. The next one I hope is a picture. Good. Pedimat is a material that looks a bit like a carpet but has gaps in it, and grit falls through the gaps into a pit of about 2 inches in depth. Pedimat is one of the most expensive parts of our Becketwood requested options. It represents over half of the additional $25,000 that we've requested. The reason that we're nope, I'm not going to say Vanna. I'm not. We're not going there. Pedimat, and the only reason I want to do this is because, like I said, half of what the additional fee that we are requesting comes from this use of pedimat. It's a valuable long-term material. The minimum required maintenance is annually, where the pedimat is simply picked up, somebody takes a wet dry vac and vacuums up the grit and lays the pedimat down again. This is instead of carpet tiles that get worn out and that bring salt and grit into Becketwood. So let's see here. The vestibule floor vents provide heat, and if you've been in that vestibule in the winter, you know that they currently don't work as well as maybe they should. They will be moved so that they are available or visible and are expected to provide a better heat. If they don't, there is capability that we will wait until winter time to see if we need to add to wall radiators. Am I saying that right, Bart? Okay.
Correct. Baseboard heat.
Baseboard heat. We're not planning to do extra because we want to see if we've already solved it. Okay, sorry, go ahead, Lauren. The front desk has many, many different components to it, but I wanted to start with this as a visual. The floor behind the front desk will remain carpeted. The column at the corner of the front desk will be reduced to the minimum size, which can still support electric conduit going inside it and that current sprinkler pipe. The pillar will also house what is called the annunciator panel, and there'll be another picture that will show that. The reason that we shrunk the size of the pillar is access. Again, the smallest gap in that hallway comes right between the point of the pillar and going across to the other wall. You know, I think, one second. Now this may be too loud, or is it okay? All right, so that pillar will be shrunk, and so we've gained, I think 6 to 8 inches is what I remember that we've gained in space there. The foyer-facing side of the front desk will be the paneling, which is going to be saved from the reduction or removal of our current paneling. There will be a movable storage cart under the back wall counter. If you've ever watched the front desk folks grab packages, they put them in a laundry cart. Well, that will become now a movable storage cart, and it can be pushed under that back counter, and we don't see them until the front desk person has enough time to get them over to the convenience center. The locked cabinet and the key box will be located on the back wall and recessed into that back wall. The gate or door will pivot in only, so that if any of us does a Kramer and goes running through there with that gate open, you won't get hit by it. It'll only swing in. The counter will be enclosed with a sliding door. The color of the walls will match the same as our current hallway colors, Medici ivory. Never mind. A key component, and I don't know if John Marble is here this evening. Okay, well, this was John Marble's baby. There will be 8 outlets or receptacles in the front, inside the front desk area, all of which will be wired to the power generator, so that in the case of a power outage, the front desk, security, monitors, glass doors, all will have a secondary power source.
Good thinking, John.
Yeah. The pillar itself will have stone facing on 2 of the 4 sides. There is another picture coming up which I think will show that a little bit better. And the material for the counter, rather than the standard Formica surface, will be a solid surface. And this was the second of the major items that we asked for above and beyond the base fee. That will be as a witch hazel corian. The last thing, which was also a bit of an extra charge, is the back wall. And darn it, I'm sorry about that feedback. It will be angled. Let's try the next picture down, Lauren, which is a schematic, and I'm afraid that it may be tough to see, but if you can see that back wall, that's going to add to the interest level, but it also then continues to give plenty of shelf space to the folks in the front desk. Okay, next picture. So this is the first picture that sold us. This is what the fireplace will look like. The paneling on the walls by the fireplace will be replaced by wainscot and plaster. The height and style of the electric foyer fireplace was approved. It's 48-inch illusion model. It will produce heat. We will also cap off the chimneys, so no longer will energy go up the chimney. The fireplace stone has been selected, ledge stone, from southwest color. And I'm sorry, Gail, is this? If you like that color and you want to put it in your own units, you can, I'll sell you this for about $1,000. You're welcome to come up later. I think the next slide. Now, you all recall last time around there was quite a bit of debate about the moving of the wall into the solarium and the loss of gathering place. This is what we think is a pretty, we think it's a good idea. The solarium wall is only moving 8 feet back. The back wall of the office will intrude into the solarium by 8 feet. But we're recommending an additional fireplace, exactly the same style.
Just use the podium mic. The other has the pointer.
Yeah. I want to only touch this.
Okay, thank you. How's that? Sorry about that. So on this picture, you see the solarium wall. It will be again wainscot and plaster. We expect that there will be furniture that can be gathered to turn this into a gathering place where right now, frankly, it's a little bit of dead floor space. They're very seldom that anybody's there. There are a couple other things on this picture, though, I'd like to point out. One of them is that there will be a member courtesy phone.
Yay.
Phone cards will be available for purchase in the pantry. The current position of this phone is close to, but possibly not where it will end up. It's possible that it will go around the side of that wall so as not to break into where we have plaques, for instance, Barb's recent plaque and so on. Let's see here. And there will be electric outlets added to the base of this wall as well. The last thing I'll mention is that we don't have a picture of it, but on the Wellington dining room side, this fireplace will be removed and be replaced again by wainscot and plaster. That gives us a much larger plaster wall here, and the intention is to get some really cool art up there. I think, Lauren, if you could go to the next one. A few details. Now, we have already spent $30,000, and that got us to the point we are at right now. We are proposing $225,000 additional dollars, which will finish the project. Of that money, $200,000 is called base fee, and we are asking for $25,000 above and beyond that 200, the bulk of which is that petty mat in the vestibule.
Okay.
The starting gun, the official starting gun, has to be the June 27th board meeting. We cannot give approval without funding. Oops, sorry. Then there are some factors, however, that will make this a little bit dicey. There is always a 30-day lead time after approval. Our vendor of choice may be willing to move with that a little bit. However, there is, and we've all heard about these supply chain problems, there is a significant supply chain problem with the glass doors of all things. So we want to get moving on that. All of those things combined with the need to balance this project and schedule it in the same summer that other projects at Becketwood are going on, and that our vendor probably has other projects going on as well. That leads to scheduling, not problem, but a need to schedule very carefully. And that's where I'm assuming, and I think it'd be the case, that Harley, you'll be working directly with Adam from Van Man to get that right. One last comment, I think, from Leetta, and then we'll take some questions. Okay. Can I move this as a handheld mic, or is it stuck? There you go. So thanks. Questions? Yes, Rick?
You already said something about the longevity expectation of that absorbent flooring. What is the longevity expectation for sliding glass doors?
Boy, I don't know. Per Harley, forever if they don't break. Spoken like a true maintenance. Oh, I'm sorry. The question was, what's the longevity of the sliding glass doors? We've talked about the longevity of the petty mat. Frankly, Rick, I don't know, but I'll find out. There are mechanics involved, and so let's find out what that would be. Yes.
I understood that there was a heating problem for the comfort of the staff who are at that desk. Has that been addressed?
Yes. The staff behind that desk, and again, if you've ever had to stand there, those folks get... Darn it. There is a question about whether we are addressing heat not only in the vestibule but in the main office, or behind the front desk. The answer is yes. There will be those same thing, right? The wall heat or baseboard heaters in that area. Yes, go ahead.
I didn't see or heard anything about the stuff that's stored here to run the electronics that we have. Where is that going?
Googs she didn't hear anything about all the electronics that are stored in that wall right back there. The answer is that they will be removed, the wall will be fixed, they will be put back. Yes?
When you're putting in new outlets, I hope they include those little thingies, I'm not very technical, that you can charge your phones while you're waiting for your ride. You know, like in hotels now, they have one outlet.
USB.
The USB connector.
So I think the suggestion is somewhere near that courtesy phone, could we have a USB outlet?
No, by the fireplace.
Oh, by the
By the fireplace.
I
Absolute-
the outlets in the foyer, and if so, to have USB outlet in all those places.
Hang on a second.
If Van Man doesn't install a maintenance search, I can do that.
Very good. I saw another, yes, Mark?
To what extent does the design reflect the feelings of the people who sit behind that desk every day?
Marvin's question is, to what extent does this design reflect the desires of the people that sit behind that front desk every day? Officially, the people that sit behind that desk have been represented at every single meeting by Robin. And I'm remiss in thanking the members of the Foyer Redesign Committee specifically, and I don't want to forget a name. Representing both finance and interior design was Gail Onan. Representing buildings and architecture was Steve Schuler. Representing buildings as well, John Marble. Representing marketing was Carla Mortensen. Member at large was George Lundgren. Robin Lillisby and Harley Swoboda representing staff, and Lietta and myself. So that's the official answer, Marvin. I will tell you that informally I have chatted with Saeed and Kate. Saeed's question is, are you gonna get it done before winter? Because he's not sure he's gonna survive another cold. So that has been their main issue, or not issue, but concern. But in addition to that, we have worked through efficiencies in package handling process. We have yet to go with a few more of the tools that they can use. I think I bet the desktop or the front desk computer is 8 years old at least. So there's a little more to go there, but I think that they like it, and I know Robin does. Yes?
Acoustically, what considerations or accommodations have been built into the plan?
The question was acoustics. Have we accommodated acoustics and we built that into the plan? The answer is no, and intentionally. The history of this project has been checkered, as we all know. It has had a long birth. One of the things we intentionally did was parse out the scope so that we could move forward. And the acoustics, particularly noise between the foyer and the Wellington room, has been set aside as a separate piece of work. Truth? Okay. So there are options. The technology team has also taken a little bit of a look at how we might block off some of the sound barriers.
Question? The doors that are sliding back and forth, could somebody of Harley's size just bust through those, or how secure is that?
So Mike's question is, how secure are those glass sliding doors? No, I don't know.
Pretty thick glass, if you like the storefront glass.
They are meant to be like storefront glass, so I suppose enough impact, but generally as secure as I believe as a wooden door would be.
If I'm not mistaken, they might be tempered glass too, like your windshield on your car, so it may shatter at impact, but not actually have pass through.
Everybody hear that? That the idea is it's probably tempered glass. Jackman.
What kind of security are you going to have for those folks at the front desk?
they basically have nothing now.
What-
I've worked for a lot of companies, manufacturers, and they all have like an emergency button. When the person comes to the desk, they just touch the underneath and call, please, but they have basically nothing to help them.
So I think your question is, what kind of security are we providing for the people at the front desk? Okay, boy. Well, we're not making it any less secure. I don't think we have addressed that much.
Don't have a good answer for that.
No. So, security for Becketwood different from security for the front desk people. The front desk people,
It really is gonna be, the security is gonna be as secure as the security desk people wanna make it. If they choose to let somebody in through that second set of doors, that's
that's
it.
true. So access would be the same. I will say though that you recall a fair amount of work that was done by many different people regarding security at Becketwood. And the Foyer had as one of its objectives to support security efforts, including the use of fobs, including the addition of cameras and monitoring of those security cameras. Both of those two projects I know are on the docket somewhere, known by the buildings committee. After that, it'll be a question of when. Jacqueline, you had a follow-up.
You know, this is a different world now, and people will say, oh, we've always been safe, it's always fine, but they could go through the second set of license and then.
So I think it's a comment that the world is perhaps a more risky place. And we are in fact at an exposure point. The front doors will remain motion activated, just like these doors remain openable. And it is that point between the two doors that is our current security block. Oh, yes, Gail.
The outer doors, if I understand correctly, can be changed so that they cannot be opened by motion by the person at the front desk.
Yes, Gail's comment is right. The outer doors are, I'll call it programmable, so that in fact, if the person at the desk sees someone outside the outer door that is an undesirable of some kind, they can lock that outer door.
I think also when people come in, that area is gonna move and there's gonna be more of an area for them to screen people, because there'll be a glass thing and a microphone for them to talk to people, so they'll be screening people before they let them in.
Right.
And it's gonna be easier to do than it is now in that congested area.
Yeah, Chuck.
If the person is at, the security person is not at the desk, and a resident comes and wants to get into the building, right now we can use our key in order to open that inner door. Will that be available in the future?
Yes, the question is, until we get fobs, we still have keys, and right now we can open the inner door ourselves. The glass doors will have that capability, as well as have the capability of converting to fob-based access when we convert to fobs.
There's a question back there.
I was gonna ask about the fobs. Is a fob likely to be like a credit card size card, or more like a fob like a card?
I think that we don't know yet, right? That would be one of the design features we'd start with what do we need it to do, and then we'd figure out what ones are out there.
What will the area to the left as you enter look like?
The question is, what will the area to the left as you enter look like? So I'm coming in. Over here, on the end of the vestibule will be a closet. And in that closet, we can place all of the snow shovels and salt and so on. That closet will have swinging doors, which are the iconic green doors with those brass plates that Bob Kirk, is he in here? Bob Kirk, Bob Kirk made me go out and polish the brass on those doors the very first year I lived here. Anyway, they'll be saved. They will be the swinging doors of that closet. So you've got a long answer to that question.
There was another question in the back, I think it's Deborah.
Oh, hi, Deborah.
Hi, this is a smaller question, but I looked over and saw that this fireplace has, what do you call them, the floor there, that's some people trip over in the past. Are you gonna take that up, and if so, do you have to match the carpet?
And so the question is about this side here where we're going to take that fireplace out. There's that slab there is called a hearth, and that will be removed, so we won't trip over it. But we've got to put carpet of some kind, and the fact is, yes, we've got extra carpet, and we'll be able to patch that in. We also won't use reuse the smoky panels that are right at the fireplace there. We'll be able to save those. How are we doing? Yeah.
Well, since you talk about tempered glass, wouldn't it be good to incorporate tempered glass in front of the security window as well as in the doors?
Marie Teresa's question or suggestion is, since we're talking about tempered glass, let's at least understand what it might take to put tempered glass in that security window. That's reasonable for us to find out. Okay, so a show of hands. How many of you at one point in your Becketwood life have been involved in the Foyer Redesign? So what do you think? Is it okay? Okay, so let Leanna almost. So let Leanna know, let me know. We are going to recommend a proposal to the board on June 27th. So we need to hear from you. It's a bit like, well, I'm taking your thunder here. I'll let you say it.
Yeah, I think the one thing to add to this is in terms of questions and feedback you have is to go through Dan and I. And even if it's something for maintenance, it's going to be funneled through us. And we'll make a list for Harley and then get back to people. And this is sort of a time-saving measure for him.
Or forever hold your peace.
Yes, that is true too. After the 27th, it's too late.
Very good. Thanks, you guys. There have been many of you.
Yes, thanks to Dan and Leetta, and thank you earlier to Benjamin. I think he's still here. So if you want to catch him before he leaves, do that. If you want to catch these two before they leave, do that. The town hall forum or gathering for July has not yet been settled. So if you have suggestions for that, let us know. One suggestion was that we simply have an open mic with board members, so members could ask anything they want to ask of board members. And we'll take that under advisement, but if you have other suggestions, let us know. And going into the fall, we only have 1 or 2 scheduled once we get into the fall. So, yeah.
Randy, is it a requirement to wear a hat when you're talking at
The question is whether it's required to have a hat to stand up here. Only for Benjamin, Dan, and myself. Everybody else can, but they don't have to. So, any other good questions? All right, thank you for tonight. And I should say, we have been trying to record this. We'll know by tomorrow whether we actually succeeded. And if we did, you'll know about it in the buzz. And then if people want to listen to it or hear it again, or if you have members who are not here tonight and want to listen to it, let us know. And we should know, well, we'll know by this weekend whether it's actually available as a recording. So thank you all.